On today's Target Discovery series, we are discussing apps for autism. As you may know, it is Autism Awareness Month, and we had Autism Awareness Day in April. And you're probably seeing a lot go through your emails, out and about, on the Twitter sphere about Autism Month. And, we're very supportive here as well. And a couple of years ago, we did a webinar, a Target Discovery series on technology for autism that went very well for us. And it was not posted online, and people were asking to watch it. So we thought, well, let's take that, let's update it, and let's do this again. And so here we are today discussing apps for autism. Kind of up front, we like to remember that a lot of this might be on a smartphone or a tablet. Mostly we're talking about iOS and Android. But a large majority of what people are using this on are the larger tablets. And it's interesting because, for everyone, this was kind of a breakthrough technology 4 or 5 years ago. And now everybody's talking about how, their several years old iPad is all they need and they don't need anything new, and it's kind of getting more of a static world in that business environment. So no one's quite sure exactly what's going to happen with tablets as we move forward. But of course, individuals with disabilities, certain learning disabilities, and autism, well, these are invaluable tools that have really changed the world, because you can buy one device, and then on that device, which may be a little expensive, but still not compared to some high-end assistive technology. And you can take that and add so many different applications to it that meet your need. And that's pretty powerful stuff. So really, in today's day and age, most of the technology that's going to be used for individuals with autism is on a tablet. So that's our focus for today. All right, so first and foremost, just in case you needed the kind of background on autism, we have a photo of the new Sesame Street character who has autism, which is all in the news this week, trying to be as current as we can. People are making a big deal from all different angles about Sesame Street having this autistic puppet, and so it's good, though. Anytime that we can have conversations and realizations about autism and what it means, instead of maybe just arguing about vaccines and other controversial topics. Not that I'm saying anything about vaccines, just to say that, sometimes we talk about certain disabilities and advocacy, and we can get really, it's really important, and we can get really emotional about it. And it's also nice to have ways to talk about things, ways to learn about things that are just a little more fun, if you will, like the Sesame Street. So I think that's great to see. And of course, it helps children learn. So we're here to help adults learn, and you're adults, presumably. So we just want to make sure you knew about autism, just the real basic background. Autism covers several different things that are complex disorders of brain development. And individuals who are on the autism spectrum have varying degrees of difficulty in regards to interacting socially, and this includes their social development, and then even when you would say you're fully developed, interacting on a day-to-day basis in school or in the workplace, and of course at home, etc. And then verbal and nonverbal communication, and we'll see a lot of this with the technology. Some people with autism, need some help communicating verbally, and others also need help understanding communication that is not verbal. That might be something that you can, figure out if you do not have autism, but, maybe there's a tool out there that can help you if you do. And also repetitive behaviors. This really boils it down to the basics. There's a lot more to it, and like it's a broad spectrum. That's why it's called the autism spectrum. But just wanted to give you a brief interview. We're not really going into it today. 1 in 68 American children are on the autism spectrum, which is a tenfold increase in the past 40 years. So obviously those children are going to grow into adults. Now, we don't know if that's a matter of more reporting or actually more, well, I mean, it can't be just more reporting, but there's several factors, lots of discussion about why the rates are higher. But bottom line is there's more children with autism, and therefore there will be eventually more adults with autism. This goes without saying for all of our customers with disabilities, but each individual with autism is unique. There is no way to just say, if you have autism, these tools and tips will work for you. And again, kind of fitting with our experienceability campaign that we ran last year, and we're running a similar one this year. If you have a disability like autism, we're kind of talking about some of the difficulties that this person might have, but many times they also have exceptional abilities in visual skills, music, academic skills that can make them very valuable contributors to the workplace. In fact, about 40% have average to above intellectual abilities. Okay, so, and I apologize if you hear any coughing. I'm still getting over a cold here. So in terms of applications for autism, we want to look at it from two perspectives. First of all, children. You may be attending this or listening to this because you have a child with autism and you want to learn more. Of course, you've already had to learn so much to survive. I don't want to say survive, but to get through, to figure everything out, help your child. So you may know more than us and can share things with us. But the main idea here is they improve communication, they develop social skills, and they enhance the ability to learn. That's sort of the goals of apps for autism for children. I guess you could say some of that does apply, or at least continue to apply when you're a working adult, but in addition you need to improve your business interactions and be able to allow full expression of potential. So if there's an app that can help you have a meeting or go to your review and do well, that's very useful. If you're going to an interview trying to get a job and you can be better prepared, this is also an option. Alright, so we're just going to get right into the apps because that's what we're here for. So what we did is we researched sort of a bunch of different categories of apps for autism, and the first category is the biggest, so we'll have a couple of technologies. But a lot of the other ones, we just give you one example from each. This doesn't even, saying the tip of the iceberg is not doing it justice. There is a wide world of apps for autism out there, and we'll give you a great resource at the end you can kind of dig through yourself. But we wanted to let you know the main idea of what's out there. That's kind of the point behind the Discovery series, help you discover some apps, and then you can dig deeper for yourself. And hopefully we'll help get you pointed in the right direction. Alright, so the first app, it's probably been around the longest, is called Proloquo to Go. So Proloquo, the number 2, and then go. Proloquo to Go. This was originally on the iPhone, and now you can also get it on the iPad, but it's only available on iOS devices. But with this technology, you can construct sentences using symbols and pictures. You can have text-to-speech output, and you can have word predictions. So again, if you are somebody on the autism spectrum, certain individuals may have trouble communicating. They may not be able to verbally form the words at all, in which case the text-to-speech output can speak for them, or they might be able to hear it and say it again, or learn to say something, but to actually think through and get the right statement out of their head, they need some help. So for AAC, which is augmentative communication, you basically have, in this case, you have symbols and pictures on a screen, And the pictures could be showing you something like you need to say, I want to go, and it shows a green arrow to the right. You kind of learn that that symbol is I want to go. Or the symbols or the stick figure drawings, some of them are like a stick figure helping another stick figure up off the ground is the symbol for I need help. So it gives you that visual reinforcement to understand what you're trying to say. You still have to get in there and learn it, but then once there, it makes it easier for you, and you can use these symbols and pictures, and you can even add your own pictures, and you can do that, and it's going to help you communicate. Excuse me. So the other thing that you can do, of course, is word predictions. So not only are you using these, kind of generating a phrase starting with symbols and pictures and able to do text-to-speech output, but as you're going, and you're kind of used to this on a mobile device anyway, but it starts to do word prediction. So you don't have to necessarily, come up with everything you're trying to say. Eventually it should help predict, so you can just choose the word and move more quickly that way. So that's what an app like Prolo Quo To Go can do for you, and it can speak for you if you wish. And in the web links area of the live webinar, and also on our website, is something called Target 365, and that is where we go ahead and put the presentations, the recordings, any podcasts related to an event. So you will be able to get this PowerPoint with the links on there within the next day or so. Okay, so AAC app, Touch Chat HD. So this is another AAC app, and what they take the illustrations a little further. They use something called pictographs, and you can actually look at a picture, let's say, of a zoo scene with a giraffe and some other animal and some trees and a fence, and that can kind of give you some guidance to, okay, I'm at this scene. These are the kind of things I might want to say while I'm here at the zoo, like look at the animal. And then you can have the text-to-speech output again, or at least you can see it written out, and then you can say it yourself. So it just kind of takes what you saw in the other app a little different direction, and it gives you social media capabilities as well. So you can, actually dictate a Facebook post or a Twitter post using this device. Okay, so the next AAC app is Predictable, and this is from the UK. It is a text-based AAC app designed to give a voice to someone who is unable to use their own, which I could use about right now with my voice. I really apologize. We actually postponed last week's recording because of my voice, and here we are again today. But we have this app in the Target Center, so if you are ever able to come down, if you're in DC area, we can show you this app. There's not a free demo available, but you put this on an iPad, and you basically just type on a keyboard that is just very large, but and it does that word prediction for you. But it's a very smart word prediction. It learns you. It learns the kind of things that you should be talking about, maybe based on your profession, etc. It's just really advanced text and word prediction, and it'll read out for you in a very nice voice. So it's pretty simple. But then at the same time, you can control it with a switch. So I don't know if you've all seen switches before, but you can get Bluetooth ones for mobile devices, or maybe you've thought of something like the sip puff switch that you might have in your mouth. But the ones for mobile devices are basically just a big button that is kind of like a standalone button, almost like that Staples button that we see in the commercials. And you have that, and what will actually happen is something will move around the screen and highlight the different letters, and then when you get to the letter you want, you press a button, and you select that letter, then you go on to the next one, which sounds very tedious, but if you're not otherwise able to control an iPad, it's a pretty impressive technology, and you get used to it. So that's a great thing about the Predictable app. And then you can also use your own voice. So this is interesting. So, let's say that you could practice and learn a word or a phrase, and you really want people to hear your own voice, not some computer voice. Well, you can take the time to kind of have your voice be in there, and then, maybe in a real life situation, it would be real difficult for you to form the words the way you want to, but you already did so in your app, and you can have it still come out with your voice. So that's a pretty nice feature as well. Okay, so another app, and we covered this one for sure in our last one about 2 years ago, and still going strong, the iAssist Communicator. And this is designed specifically to meet the needs of autistic teens and adults with severe cognitive and communication challenges. So again, you're given some sort of easy to access buttons on the screen. In this case, you're picking from situations like under the category of school and work. Do you need to talk to people? Do you need to talk to friends? Do you need to get back to school, back to work? There's a bunch of different situations, and then it's going to help you communicate in that situation based on what it thinks you need to do. And of course, you can customize it, with your parents or by yourself beforehand. But it's going to just drill you down through different menus to be able to help, communicate and speak out loud for you if you wish. So all of these kind of do that same thing, but they just take a different approach. Okay, so the next app is the literacy app Ginger Keyboard. We've been using this at the Target Center for a long time, regardless of, not regardless of, but beyond autism. But it's helpful there as well. So, certain people with autism have trouble reading or writing. A lot of times the thoughts might be there in the head or the ability to get there, but just needs something to kind of help get it out the right way. And something that they can have always on their phone for their basic communications. I mean, it's not like a luxury anymore to be doing texting or email on a mobile phone. Almost everybody does it. It's almost required for your social interactions, and it's more or less required for school and work at this point. So, and the Ginger keyboard is cool because you can still use it on your computer when you're doing computer work, and then you have that same keyboard on your mobile phone. So it does the word prediction. It'll proofread what you type before you send it and help you really make sure you're saying what you want to say. Correct the grammar, spelling. It's a pretty amazing keyboard. And another thing that we've seen for individuals with autism is really needing to hear back what they wrote and to really understand if they wrote what they wanted to write. So they wrote it down. Reading it isn't good enough for them to proofread it. They really want to be able to hear it as well. So you can type something, proofread it, and listen to it back to make sure it's right, all with this Ginger software. Another literacy app that helps along the same lines is called Aut2Speak. I don't know why for all these autism apps they use the number 2 instead of TO. I mean, it's only one more letter, but whatever. Aut2Speak. It has a setup, kind of similar to Predictable, and where there's an area where your text shows up that you can have it and use it to write or speak out loud. But then It's kind of a combination of some of those other apps where you have these boards of words, and emotion words, confused, excited, frustrated. They call them the list of feelings and needs, alongside word endings. So, a lot of times you might be able to start the word but not end the word, and you kind of need that help going along. So it's just kind of a really specific literacy support from research showing what a certain subset of individuals with autism might need. The other thing was access to pronouns and difficulty with pronouns. So knowing that you have this tool that kind of reminds you that you need to do this, use these pronouns in these ways. It's okay to put feeling words in there. We're going to group the feeling words together. That's a pretty powerful technology. So that's Ought to Speak. And I do want to let you know that for those of you who are watching the live webinar and submitting Q&A, we will get to your questions and build them into the presentation, so don't you worry. Okay, I did not have to mute myself after that slide to cough, so that is progress. Now, another great app, category and specific app, are an anxiety app. When there's one called Wait Timer. So certain individuals with autism, especially, we see this with the children, have a lot of difficulty waiting when they have to wait for something, and they're very impatient, and they need some help with that. So an audio-visual timer that can kind of show them how they're doing in the wait, help them count it down, help them with audio and video, sort of guidance, and can be set to any time length. It's kind of simple, but it's really powerful. And yeah, you could go and get a timer, a handheld watch timer, but that doesn't really have the audio component and the color component and being so large. And then the other thing that's great is I guess this is changing a lot, but especially when it came out, it's kind of one of the few apps that runs in the background when it's on iOS. It is available on both iOS and Android, which is great. And it can run in the background. So let's say that you have to wait for something, so you turn it on, and then you go and maybe you do one of your autism learning apps to kind of pass the time or to communicate, and then you can kind of go back and see the timer again. So that background capability is pretty nice. Okay, so another capability of technology that these apps have that is really beneficial to individuals with autism is the ability to dictate. In other words, to speak and see text. Now, you can do this with the built-in Siri and Google Assistant, but it's a lot shorter and it's a little bit more of a limited vocabulary. Those technologies are meant to be assistants, to talk to you, to help figure out what you need, and to help you do something on your phone. Dragon Anywhere is more like Dragon Naturally Speaking on your computer, where you're really able to dictate for a long time and have it all turn into text. Dictate a whole document. You could dictate an entire blog post, kind of stream of consciousness if you wanted, and then go back and edit it. Or you could do something as short as a tweet. So it's a lot more flexible than the built-in speech recognition in the devices. Now, the one thing is you do have to do all that dictation inside Dragon Anywhere, but then you can copy it and paste it into any other app you want. It also really is Dragon Anywhere, so it's cloud-based, so you don't have to just use it on your phone. You could dictate to yourself on your phone, and then you can log into your computer, and that dictation would be there, not just the audio, but the actual text, written text of what you said. So that's a really powerful technology, and that's called Dragon Anywhere. So what we mentioned before was sometimes you need help when you're on the autism spectrum reading emotions. I don't know if stereotypical is the right word, but this is one of the things that we see kind of conveyed a lot on television, and we hear people talking about when it comes to autism, and are you able to read emotions? So people always ask about this one, and they wonder if there's actually an app that would do it. Now, there actually is an app out there in the world, which we did not include here because it's really not fully functional, that tries to use the camera to read somebody's face. Excuse me. To read somebody's face and to figure out their emotion. But that's not what we're talking about here. This is just sort of an app that you can go through to try to remind yourself, to try to learn how you see people's facial expressions and understand them, and of course your own facial expression as well. Goes both ways. So that's an app called Emotions Reader, and it's available on the iTunes App Store. Another app that we had a couple years ago that's still on here, and they really haven't come up with a better one, is I Learn and Earn 2. Now, at least in this case, the number 2 is because this was the second version. But with this app, which is only on iOS, it allows for continued skill acquisition for adults with autism spectrum disorders. And that includes domestic and vacational skills. Everybody would like to improve those. Vocational skills. And you can basically learn step by step, which is very beneficial, and use different forms of media, images, audio, stories, etc., to really learn some new skills. Everything from bowling to what you might need to do from work. So, pretty powerful app, I Learn and Earn. Now, we've heard great things about that for a long time, but have not actually used it ourselves, I must say. Now, another type of app that's really beneficial is called sequencing. And sequencing skills allow you to arrange your what are called activities of daily living into orders. We kind of do this, all of us try to do this sort of intuitively. People on the autism spectrum, some people, not all again, may have difficulty with this for a variety of reasons. And so they use an app that can help plan that out in advance. And as a result, it can improve your problem solving, your attention to detail, and your visual scanning skills. So, you have to really think about, how do I do things throughout the day? Or how do I do something like put together a sandwich? And what's the right order? And by using this app, you can also figure out, okay, I have this work task, or even just before work, I need to put on a tie. What are the steps? Remind yourself of that. And it helps you figure out, where did I go wrong along the way as well. So, really powerful tool. I keep saying that about all the apps, but it's absolutely true. Okay, so before we go into this next slide, I do want to look into some of the questions. Boy, again, I apologize for all the coughing or the muting of the line. Just not going well for me today in that regard. But we do not want to postpone another training session. So I don't see any questions in here. I'll keep looking for them, but in the meantime, I will go into this last slide. So like I said, we kind of covered the main types of apps and highlighted at least one of each kind. Try to talk about why these are helpful for people with disabilities, maybe people with autism, and provide links where possible. But you can also go to one place and find all of it and much more. Our friends at Autism Speaks have a listing of autism apps that they always update, and it's sortable by features, devices, ages, and is searchable by keyboard. So we do recommend that you try to take that, look through it, and find even more apps than the ones we've discussed today. Have a screenshot there, but definitely go to autismspeaks.org and look up their autism apps. And with that, I guess we're going to sign off before I totally lose my voice. But For those of you who attended the live webinar, the Q&A area is where you can have one last chance to submit any questions or comments. Anybody can also email us at target-center@usda.gov and get in touch that way. And we will be responsive. We will also be posting a YouTube video and a podcast version of this Discovery series on the respective sites for that, YouTube and SoundCloud. So look for those. In other words, thank you for joining us live, and I hope it was